The Premier League returned after the international break and did so in some style. A cracking show on the way. Alan Shearer and Danny Murphy are also back, which makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest. We've got Wolves versus Liverpool later, and it got a bit steamy the last time you worked together on that one. Please tell me you've turned off your phones. We'll play it safe and begin at Old Trafford, where Manchester United had gone 12 months unbeaten. The last team to win there in the league. Today's opponent's Brighton. Your commentator, Mark Scott.
Look at ourselves and obviously try to change some things. But in the end, I think we're very disappointed.
Big result, great performance. We know very well we are Brighton. We are not a big team, but we play well. We have a lot of great players and we are showing courage, ability, and we want to follow playing in this way.
Sometimes you are in bad periods, difficult periods, where we are now, and then you have to face that.
What did you make of the noise? It was the loudest noise of the afternoon when Martial came on for Højlund.
I think it was very good that Højlund, obviously the crowd embraced his performance. He has some deficit in fitness. We have to build that, and I think it was another good step.
That phone will be going crazy when you'll be getting some stick off friends and family after that goal.
Yeah, I've seen a few in the stands as well, to be fair. A few United fans and friends and family. But yeah, I'm here, professional, do my job, and did that today. Got the 3 points, most important thing.
They certainly did. Another spectacular performance, wasn't it, from Brighton? They made 6 changes from the team that beat Newcastle, but you wouldn't have known any difference.
Well, we're not getting surprised anymore. It was a brilliant, brave performance. I actually thought United started really well in the first 15, 20 minutes. They played differently, tactically, played a diamond in midfield, which we'll see in a second. But like all good teams, Brighton found a solution and found it quickly. This is an intelligent team, Gary. It doesn't matter who they play. This is after about 20 minutes. United, as we can see, is setting up with a diamond, which they haven't played before, and you could tell as the game wore on. 2 forwards up top, trying to stop Brighton play through the middle, which I understood, and Brighton soon realised if they can push the full-backs high and wide, they're going to get some 2v1s and they're going to control the tempo of the game, and they did that really, really well. This was just an example of how they did that. Look, playing into the tight areas, Martinez gets dragged in there, to then play out wide and have these overloads. I was fortunate last year actually to go down and watch Brighton train a couple of times, and they worked really hard on these overloads. But you have to be courageous when you play like this, because if you lose the ball, you're in a world of trouble. They play with freedom. They've got great technique. They all trust each other with the ball. Here you can see, high up the pitch, again into the middle area. 2 narrow Man United. This is the 2v1. We see it. Welbeck carries on in the box, runs past Casemiro. He doesn't see him. Scores against his old team. He was terrific today, Danny Welbeck. And then the confidence just grew. I mean, United tried at times. You know, they tried to press. Look, they've got 9 players in the attacking half. And again, Brighton, brave, 1-0 up. Let's keep the ball. Let's keep playing. Let's use our technical ability. Let's use our bravery. Let's use our pace and skill to wear them down. And this, at the end of the first half, you could see United midfield getting ragged. They're too close together. There's not communication. And it became easy for Brighton at this stage of the first half, especially, just to dictate possession and control proceedings. And Brighton do this really well. They're not always short passes. If there's space in behind, they've got willing runners, they've got pace, they've got threats all over the pitch. It was a really composed performance. This was the second goal after 30 passes. Still got runners going forward, trying to win the game. They're 1-0 up. They could have sat off. Pascal Gross, holding midfielder, sits Martinez down. Look, 7 of them in the attacking third. When you're 1-0 up away, this is the confidence of this Brighton side. And what an underrated player he is. Another goal against Man U. He loves scoring against Man U. Here we see again the width. I don't care what you're doing tactically. You can't be outrun and outfought. Look at Lindelof, runs past him, Fati. Fernandes doesn't track back the runner, doesn't ambles back. It's poor. And sometimes you can get beat by a better team, but you can't get them beat by being run all over and dictated to the whole game. These stats are just unbelievable since he's taken over. You can see for yourself the goal scores third, but first in shots on target. Expected goals is second, and possession second, obviously behind Manchester City, which you'd expect. But what a brilliant job he's done.
Absolutely, really has. You know, it's been a long time since United lost a league game at Old Trafford, obviously, but it's the first time in the Premier League era that they've lost 3 of their first 5 matches. It's a club that seems to be constantly in turmoil at present. What do you make of it all?
I do have a little bit of sympathy with Eric Ten Hag, with all the serious external issues that are going on. And, of course, as we know, everything eventually filters down onto the pitch from the top. Is it for sale? Is it not for sale? Yeah, it's leadership. It's where is that coming from? So I do have a little bit of sympathy for them, but they just need to know. The fans need to know. He needs to know what on earth is going on at the football club. Because, as I said, it all comes down onto the football pitch, and it's starting to happen now.
Certainly is.
The good side, but yeah, first 20 minutes was all ours, and we created great chances. Didn't score, but then on the second attack and the first chance we concede, and we concede a goal, and then we had a period in the game. It was quite difficult, but we fought back, and then we get a goal at least. We thought we get a goal, and then it's disallowed. So yeah, it's difficult in this period, and it's not falling our sides, but will change. We will fight back as we stick together and play as a team, stick to the rules. Then we will return.
So for Brighton, a fantastic result, and you have to argue, we can't argue really, well deserved, but for Manchester United, the headlines will be about them, of course, after that. It's their third defeat in their first 5 league games of the season. It's the worst ever start to a Premier League campaign. What did you make of their performance today, Les?
Yeah, I'm looking at what he said about the first 30 minutes. He was all over them, created chances, and I'm struggling to remember that. You know, I thought they started the game well, but you know, I thought Brighton were in the game as well for 30 minutes. So I'm not seeing what he saw in the first 30 minutes. But Brighton look like a team that know what they're doing. Manchester United look a little bit disjointed for me at the moment.
It wasn't meant to be this way, Leon, was it? After what Ten Hag accomplished last campaign?
No, there's a real disjointed feel about Manchester United at the moment. As Les said, you're trying to work out how they're playing. Last year they had a real structure, and you felt they were growing. They've added to that this year. They've had a few issues with players off field that's thrown them off balance as well. But they changed the system as well as the structure today and tried to play against a well-oiled machine in Brighton, and they just got found out. Brighton played in spaces, they played around them, and at times, at Old Trafford, Manchester United couldn't get near Brighton today.
There's no doubt Brighton have got their number. It's their 4th straight league win over Manchester United. Tariq Lamptey, more